Hi everyone! Now this week we're going to do a slightly different kind of assembly because we thought we'd mix it up a bit as we're getting towards the end of term. I know that lots of you have been sending your reading records into your teachers each week and they're absolutely delighted to read them. But some people have been saying that they're kind of running out of ideas of things to read. So I've got my family here and we are all going to recommend a book that we've really enjoyed recently or a long time ago. And we're going to tell you a little bit about the book and why we love it and who we think would also like to read it. So we're going to start off with George. George is 11, he's in year 6. He is just about to go to secondary school like all of our year 6s. And he has always loved reading, haven't you? Ever since he was tiny, he's loved books. So he's got a wide variety of books that he could choose from that he has read. And he has chosen a very special one to talk about today. Here you are, George.
Hello. So my book is one of 3 in a trilogy, and it's the second book. It's called Defender of the Realm: Dark Age. It's about a boy called Alfie who becomes king at 14. Due to, in the first book, his father being killed by a monster known as the Black Lizard, and in this book, the nation thinks it's seen the last of the Black Lizard, but when a band of undead Vikings appears, Alfie must defend the realm once more.
And what kind of age range do you think might enjoy that book?
I'd say year 4 onwards.
Okay. And what genre would you say it is?
Fantasy, fantasy.
So can you think of any books that children might have already read and they might enjoy this book because they've enjoyed those books?
Perhaps Beast Quest?
Okay, brilliant. Thank you very much, George. Super. Okay, now here comes Bob.
Oh, okay. Hello everyone. I've got a book here by George Orwell. It's called Animal Farm, and it's a very, very simple book. It's a very short book, and it's set on a farm. A farm probably on the South Downs, I don't know, but probably on the South Downs. And it's a story about how the animals are very unhappy and they want to take over the farm. And they want to become happy, but in order to become happy, everybody's got to agree to the rules that they set themselves. And it's a story of heroism and passion, and in the end I can't tell you what happens because I'll ruin the story. But it's a story that I've read and reread many, many times. So if you want a story where occasionally you say to yourself, well, that's not fair, and you get yourself really involved in it, you can become part of the story. And sometimes I think I'm actually on the farm with the animals, but sometimes I get quite upset and sometimes I get very, very happy. But it's worth reading. Animal Farm by George Orwell.
Thank you very much, Bob. Okay, here comes Florence. Florence has got a different kind of book to read to you, or to look at. Yours is more of a non-fiction book, isn't it, Florence?
It's called Great Women Who Worked Wonders.
I'm just going to do this. There we are, now everyone can see your face.
And my favourite woman is Catherine Johnson.
Can you show everyone the picture of Catherine Johnson?
She was a black scientist, and at that time it was very hard for black people to get a job such as a scientist.
And can you show everyone the pictures, and it may be on another page, because the pictures are really interesting, aren't they? Show everyone the pictures on another page, because we've seen that page now, haven't we? And you can see it's a lovely, the way the pages are laid out, it's really lovely and interesting and fun to look at. And we hadn't heard of any of these women, had we, before we read this book?
No.
Can you tell us about any of the other women that you really enjoyed reading about?
I really enjoy Rosa May Billinghurst.
And what did Rosa May Billinghurst do?
She was a suffragette and she wanted votes for women, but she was disabled, and men at that time thought disabled women were weak and less important.
And what did she do to show that they were wrong?
And she made them change the rules.
Brilliant. Thank you so much. Let's have a look at the front cover so everyone can see who it's by. It's by Kate Pankhurst, who actually is an ancestor of the suffragette Emmeline Pankhurst, isn't it? Great women who worked wonders. Now I'm going to appear back again and I'm going to recommend something slightly different. I'm going to recommend that you read some poetry by Michael Rosen, and I've got two Michael Rosen books here, one from home, which actually you can see has been signed by Michael Rosen to Florence and George, which is really special. This one's called Bananas in My Ears. And I've also got this one, which I found in our school library, which is called Quick, Let's Get Out of Here. I love Michael Rosen. He's funny. He also writes poetry that makes you think. It makes you think about some really tricky subjects sometimes. He always works with Quentin Blake. You can see both of these books are illustrated by Quentin Blake, and Quentin Blake's got a very, very particular style. I'm going to read you a poem. A little boy came down to breakfast. A little boy came down to breakfast with bananas stuck in his ears. Everyone said hello to him, but he didn't take any notice. So his mum said, "Are you all right?" But the little boy said nothing. So his sister said, "Are you all right?" But the little boy still said nothing. Then his brother noticed that he had bananas in his ears. So he said, "Hey, you've got bananas stuck in your ears." And the little boy said, "What?" So his brother said it again. "You've got bananas stuck in your ears." And the little boy said, "What?" So the boy shouted really loudly at him, "You've got bananas stuck in your ears." And the little boy shouted back, "I'm sorry, I can't hear you. I've got bananas in my ears." Silly and funny. Some of Michael Rosen's poems aren't so silly and aren't so funny, and they can really make you think about important ideas in life. You can also, if you want to, Michael Rosen's got a YouTube channel, and we often, don't we, we watch Michael Rosen's YouTube channel, and any children who have come to lunch club with me might have watched Michael Rosen's YouTube channel as well. So you can find him in all sorts of places. So we've heard about Defender of the Realm. We've heard about great women who worked wonders. We've heard about Michael Rosen. And we've heard about Animal Farm by George Orwell. I know that your teachers would love to be able to put some recommendations of books that you've really enjoyed in their next class newsletter. So why don't you, when you email your reading record, recommend some books for your teachers to tell your class about? It's been lovely talking about books with you, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye!